Here is Stephen Miller on the Laura Ingraham show on Fox.
Is it hair paint?
Well, hair paint. They spray it on.
Hairspray is, you know.
Oh, yeah. This is
the one I'm not allowed to use.
But it is actually a spray that he uses, that paint. Here is Stephen Miller.
Pakistan and other neighboring countries.
Well, the UAE is helping with these airlifts, I understand, from my source tonight. They're doing big amounts of help to bring people out of Afghanistan. The UAE can take some of these folks as well. They should be more culturally at home in the Middle East, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
Don't repeat the mistakes of Europe.
Yeah, well, and Europe doesn't want them. Europe doesn't want everyone's like, we got to listen to Europe.
They've learned.
They don't want them. I'm sorry. France says no. Britain doesn't want them. Germany and Sweden are trying to deport migrants, and they put a temporary halt.
We should say that Britain has said they're going to take 20,000 refugees.
Right.
Nevertheless, the implications of 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 in a country of 300 million is nobody's going to notice. I mean, aside from the benefit that you're going to get in having, a few more Afghan restaurants and markets. Like, I mean, honestly, like we should take as many Afghan civilians who want to come.
Well, the idea that Charlie Kirk is like, yeah, everybody just in Minnesota must not like the Somali refugees that went there. That's of course not the case at all. Like, and it's just pandering to racists, really.
Yeah.
Totally. All right, but continue to play here as we speaking of racists.
Germany and Sweden are trying to deport migrants, and they put a temporary halt on that. But they do not want all this influx of migrants into their countries. And I mean, I'd take a poll on Americans, from Americans. What do you think that poll would be, Stephen?
It would be 90-10 no. Here's the bottom line to sum it all up. There's a lot of people in Afghanistan, millions and millions and millions, who don't like the Taliban, and rightly so. That doesn't necessarily mean that all those millions of people are Jacksonian Democrats who are pro-American and who will embrace our way of life. The most logical thing to do for people who don't want to live in Afghanistan anymore is to find them a home in another country in Southeast Asia or the broader Middle East.
Safe home, and we do thank the people who helped us, but not
Absolutely.
Hundreds of thousands of people. That ultimately is what I think the left wants. Stephen, thank you. Now, Mayor Bill de Blasio.
All right, we thank you, but here's a little pat on the head.
Yeah. Thank you, but bye.
Bye. See you in a different Southeast Asian country. Like, I understand that they're racist and that's who they're speaking to, but polling about refugees, not that this should be any guidepost, right? Like, if you want to poll Americans on how many taxes, if they're going to pay their taxes, it's not going to be that high. It's just something that the government needs to do. The government needs to repair when we've occupied and invaded a country for 20 years with no discernible purpose. Yeah, that's kind of the role of what a government does. When it causes harm, it has to repair it in some way, and it will never be sufficient.
Well, and like, yeah, those polls really depend on how they're framed and in what context, but they're not 90-1 or 90-10.
10, yeah.
And frankly, the reality is, short of a segment on Laura Ingraham's show, it wouldn't implicate Americans whatsoever.
They wouldn't notice it. They want it to, these kinds of folks want it to be noticed, or at least artificially inflated, because it serves their interests.
That's their content for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
It's like, it's how Stephen Miller's going to get his next job. I mean, he's just a part of this racism industrial complex almost, and it fits neatly with the military industrial complex.
Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.